Hey TikTok, it's me, Miss Jones Amore. I'm back with another story time about my spiritual encounters. Okay, this took place several years ago when I was coming out of my spiritual warfare and battling with white girl. Okay, it was totally out of my character. Anyone who knows me knows I would never even mess around. That's a whole nother story, but let's get into it. This was happening at the end of my deliverance. And let me just let y'all know, God had his hand on me the whole time. When he says that he will turn the bad and turn it for his good, that's exactly what he did. And I am living proof of that. And looking back, all of those things needed to happen for me to get to where I am now. And I praise God that I made it out and I'm able to share with you guys. And maybe I can help somebody who's struggling with it or anything else of the sort. But just let me tell you how I heard witches laughing. All right. Now, with all that being said, um, in that time when I was doing my thing, women know, like, especially if you messing around, it's good to probably date or deal with the dude or the person who is the distributor. So that way, one, you get it free, it's at abundance, and two, it just makes sense. Plus, sex, I'm gonna tell you right now, anybody doing that, sex comes with it. I don't care who, what, got to say what, it comes along with it. It's part of that spirit, that demon, that it's part of it, okay? It's it goes hand in hand. Okay, so I said all that to say this. The guy who was dealing it to me, listen, aesthetically, he was fine as hell. If I could build a man in the physical form, top to bottom, everything, the whole package, okay? So that didn't help. But I'm saying all that to say this. Okay, I was coming out of the addiction and I was kind of dibbling dabbling, but it was at the point where I just didn't want it. So my flesh and my spirit were at war. Even my flesh didn't want it, like, but it was still something that was still lingering. So, anyways, at this time, I didn't have any income. I was losing my house, and this is before I even started messing around. It was like a whole whirlwind. Like, my whole world was being turned upside down. That's where the witchcraft and stuff comes in. How I was even able to even know that it was being worked on me. And one of the ways to know is when you are not yourself. And every time I would get high, I'm like, this is not me. Like, this is not me. I don't know. Like, this is weird. What? Every time I would get high, I'm like, this is not me. Like, what is going on? But anyways, needless to say, that's one of the signs when you know that something is not of you. It's one of the telltale signs that you're under the influence. But not to make an excuse, but that's just another part of the journey. So let's get into it. Okay, so at this point, the guy that I would call for whatever I needed, not only did he live in a neighborhood, which made it convenient, um, he had weed, whatever you need, he had it. So uh, at this point, I stopped having sex with him because I was seeing certain things, demonic things, and mm-mm. Mind you, he kept his hand on me. He kept his hand on me through it all. I'm trying to tell you, he still was working with me. So, anyways, like I said, God kept his hand on me. So let's get to it. Okay, now I stopped sleeping with him because I saw some demonic things. Like I said, I still had the gift of sight, and I could hear still. Um, that wasn't sitting well with my spirit, so I stopped engaging sexually with him. Okay, so this particular night, I didn't have a cigarette. I didn't have no weed. I didn't have jack, right? And he was like, okay, I'm going to come bring you some cigarettes and some weed. And he never showed up. So I called him. I called him in the afternoon. And then about, I want to say like 6 o'clock, he still hadn't made it, still giving me the runaround. I want to say 9, 10 o'clock, still giving me the runaround. So about 11, I'm noticing like when I did talk to him, he was like intoxicated or whatever. He was like, I'm coming or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, we just having a good time over here. I'm sorry I got caught up. And he was like, yeah, we having fun, huh? And he was there with 2 females. And they just started cackling, like laughing in the back. And the cackle, I know that cackle. I know it. Like I said, if you know me or you know part of my journey, you know that I was raised to be a witch. Not just a witch, like high caliber. So I knew what I heard. So I was like, who house you at? And he was like, oh, I'm at the homegirl's house. I was like, oh, you need to get from over there. He was like, I know, I'm coming. I was like, So when he got off the phone, I was like, Lord, I know what I heard. I know what I heard. Those are witches. Those were witches he's with. I know it. And it wouldn't shake me all like through the rest of the night. And by this time, he's not coming. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even want nothing he got at this point, because he over there collaborating with them, doing whatever, and he don't even know what's going on. And I don't need him bringing nothing to me. So really, like, I really was I didn't want jack from his ass. Let's just keep it 100 at this point. Okay, so I knock out. I wake up at like 6 in the morning. So I wake up at 6 in the morning to him coming, bringing me my sausage. He brought me the breakfast that I like, and he came in, and he stood at my door in my room. He stood at the door, and it was like he couldn't move. And I'm staring at him. I'm just looking at him. And he's looking, he was like, what? And I was like, and all of me was like, tell him to get out your house right now. Get out, tell him to go, tell him to get out, tell him to get out. And I'm just looking at him. He was like, you looking like you don't want me here. And I was like, I don't really want you here. You're absolutely right. And he was like, look. So he spills back on me, look, I got this, I got that here. I brought this for you. I brought breakfast, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't want it. I'm good. And he like, what? And so he stands up. And he's like, kind of got offended. So he started packing up his stuff. And he was like, well, you don't want... I was like, I don't want nothing. I'm good. And so he's getting ready to walk out my room. And he stops. And he got a backpack on. And he turns around. And I see this entity climb from his back, like his backpack, climbed over his shoulder, ran across the other side, jumped off of him, and ran into my closet. I was like, oh, hell no. So I'm rebuking and binding. I'm like, oh, bro, you got to go. Do you? No. He was like, you seen something, huh? I said, yes. I said, look, this little monkey, little imp thing just jumped off of you and ran and ran into my... I'm like, ooh. So I open the closet door, so I'm praying. I'm like, ooh, got to go. Rebuking and binding in the blood of Jesus. Like, can't no, bro. And he got quiet. He was like, I said, you were with witches last night. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. He was like, look, it almost even slipped my mind. He said, when I woke up this morning like 3 or 4 in the morning, and the house was pitch black. He said it was pitch black. I didn't know where they were. And he said I had to use my lighter. He was like, I tried to use my phone to turn the light on to see what was going on, but my phone went dead. And he said, so I got my lighter. And he said, so I got my lighter and I went into... There were sisters. And he said, I went into one of the rooms, and he said, when I flicked my lighter, there was a whole pentagram on the floor in red, and there was, you could see where they had burned candles and whatnot. And I said, see? I said, you over there asleep? I said, you don't know. He was like, and right when he said, I don't know what they could have done to me, I said it at the same time. You don't know what they did to your ass while you was over there knocked out after you done slept with him. Like, bro. So I just started praying over him. I got to praying. He left. But he was my confirmation that I wasn't tripping. Even in the midst of my devilishness, still, I wasn't tripping. And the Lord led me, I still could hear. So, like I said, maybe there's a whole like series on me with the struggle with the white girl, how I even ended up um, messing and dibbling and dabbling with that. It's just like, it's crazy. But I will share it with you guys at a later date. This is my first time speaking about me even dealing with that. Um, I'm just grateful that through God be the glory that I got out of all of that in my right mind, because like I was starting to lose my mind towards the end of it. Like that was like one of the catalysts that made me like, look, I can't do this, because I started hearing voices. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. But needless to say, glory be to God. Um, Through Christ, all things are possible. I don't care how far gone you think you are, you can get out of it and have a story to tell. And I just told this story once again just to shed light on the spiritual realm, because this life is actually spirit first, then the physical. And people don't understand that. Like, y'all gotta get this. It's really more spiritual than it's physical. This is just a manifestation of what's going on in the spirit. So, thank you guys for listening. Feel free to ask questions, leave your comments. I know I say like a lot. I'm from California, but I'm just trying to relay the conversation between me and whoever I was talking to at the time. So y'all just bear with me. But God bless you guys. You guys have a blessed day. And I'll be back with more story time. And I'll get more in depth on how this even happened, how I got fully delivered. And yes, you guys have a blessed day. Love you.